Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the Global Healing Circle again. Today we have here only three of us, so let's introduce ourselves. Christina.
Hi, I'm Christina, and I am currently in Florida. I am a holistic well-being coach and a co-facilitator of a 90-day challenge transformational program and cacao ceremony facilitator.
Beautiful. And Amos?
Hi, everyone. My name is Amos Campbell. I'm a master healer from Peoria, Arizona. My business, Health and Healing Solutions, brings massage, reflexology, medical reflexology, Reiki, and meditation guidance.
Perfect. And my name is Nora from Finland, and I am an energy healer and a spiritual life coach. So I am helping you to release something you need to let go and to build a life that you truly want to live. And Fotini today is not here because she's enjoying some beautiful Italian city at the moment. But we came to make this episode very quickly, and it is about money. Should you ask money as a healer? Should you take your business seriously? There are many opinions about this stuff, and we wanted to kind of get it out of the way. So what do you guys think? Any opinions?
Absolutely. I think the conversation really comes into the argument of value versus worth. So I think it depends on what type of either service or skill you bring and what type of program you have to offer people and how much time it takes versus what type of real benefit it's going to provide to people. And I think that is the beauty, but also the danger, because that is all subjective, both to you and your clients. And if you're providing a service and you have taken time and someone has shown up to take, I feel that you've provided time, money should be provided as a replacement. It needs to be an equivalent exchange. It needs to be fair. So money for time, I think, is a fair assessment.
Great. How about Christina? What do you think about this subject?
Yeah, so I think that in just looking at my own practice, I definitely see where it's challenging to sometimes charge for my service. And I just wonder where that comes from. And it's almost like there's I don't know if it's a past life or if there's something that I've just kind of latched onto with religion, but there is some sort of a block there where I tend to not charge enough for my services. And so I think this is a challenge for a lot of people in the healing industry and in their businesses. And it's really a confidence too. When you're first starting out, you're also trying to build your business. So with that, you are taught to always create value, right? So, and that's where it kind of gets a little wonky, is because it can go the wrong way. So that's my challenge for sure. But I know, Amos, you had come up with some sort of an acronym and technique of how to kind of work with money in the healing industry.
Yes. Value versus worth is not just a financial health issue. It's a mental health and spiritual health issue, because it's people pay for what they value and they value what they pay for. It's sort of like a money principle. So I first tell everyone you need to be kind, and that is KYND. Know your numbers, dumbass. And that applies to us. You need to know your worth. You need to know your value. So right now, everything is done. We work based on the clock. So everything in my understanding and my relation is through time. So it takes time to learn something. It takes time to teach something. It takes time to process and to implement in your life. So everything I charge is based off of time. And as a professional business owner, I try to be $1 a minute. I try to be fair because I want to be available to everyone. But at the same time, I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I live in the 5th largest city in America. And this is significant more cost of living than is in the middle of somewhere, Nebraska. It's a very different beast. So I have a cost of living and I have a means that I have to meet. Otherwise, I am homeless trying to teach and heal people. And it's not very, I can't do a lot of stuff if I don't have a place for people to come to. So there is overhead that has to be met plus life. And this is the catch that we run into because there's so many people out there who will parade glitz and glamour around and all of this, but they don't show their work. So she's Marnie Semnick. I had a couple discussions with her on the side, and she is a wellness coach who helps healers and whatever reach 6 figures and all that other stuff. And I've had some conversations, and her big deal is charge more money. Charge more. You're not charging enough money. Well, I can do that if I was in Calabasas, California, where you are. When you live right down the street from the Hollywood Hills, you can charge $1,500 an hour and live a glamorous lifestyle. Even here in the 5th largest city, people don't have that. I'm doing good to get $1 a minute for my services, which I think is fair. It's enough to pay bills, but I'm not going to be featured on the red carpet. The big point is you have to know your numbers. You have to know your worth. This is just the point of reference that I go off of an hour. $60 an hour. Start there. But I only work 3 hours a day. Do your math. Exactly. Catch 22. Whereas Teal Swan charges $5,000 an hour. Catch 22. And she doesn't have any professional licenses like me and Nora. We have professional licenses to touch the general public. You have a Reiki master background. You are qualified to work with people's energy. So now it's about what is that worth, and also know your demographic. This is the other catch 22.
Yep.
Children don't have money typically. So most adult healing happens after you're 20. So most of our demographic is 30 to 65. And you have to be able to come on your own time. This is like talk therapy, but a lot of our services are hands-on because there's a lot of somatic storage in our body. There is cellular memory, there's muscle memory, however you want to store the memory, but we store memory in our body a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I really do believe in the somatic therapies, massage, reflexology, Reiki, acupuncture, pressure, everything.
Yeah.
And here in Finland, there is like a very old belief that a healer should not charge anything, that you do it as a servant for the universe, or you are giving your services and it's wrong to ask money for it. And I have been thinking a lot about it, because that, like Amos, you talked earlier, that leads you to be homeless if you want to help
Those are
people.
monks.
So
they've got us confused with monks. Yeah.
Exactly. So it comes probably from those times that, like you said earlier when we were talking about this subject, that the monks, they get everything for free from people, kind of, that's the deal. But in this society, I wouldn't get anything for free there if I would walk around the streets in Helsinki. And also I'm kind of thinking, like, why should we even limit ourselves? Like, we live in infinite abundance in the universe. So why should we kind of limit ourselves by our mind for not being able to receive, right?
You should never limit yourself in your capabilities, especially if you're coming from a place of wholeness, health, and love. I don't think there should be a limit on your capabilities. I think we're only limited by our demographic.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Of course. And then, Amos, if it would be the biggest thing in your life, you would like to get 5,000 an hour, you could always just move to Hollywood and do that there. But is that something you really want, right? So
as of right now, no, I'm not about that life. I personally want to be available to people who don't have that type of capability. Like, people who have that type of money can afford anything in the world. They can go anywhere in the world. I want to be available to everyone who's in the middle class. It's not fair. Upper class people can get anything in the world and they can have anything in the world brought to them. But my nurses, my teachers, the people who are doing the real good work on the ground floor, they don't always have that type of ability. And now I can be anywhere with them with the smartphone, with the emotional or spiritual counseling. And I have a physical location. I take care of a very large circle in my city of other healers that I help keep on top of their game. Because believe me, if you find yourself in the ER, you sure as heck don't want your ER nurse hobbling around with plantar fasciitis. I guarantee you. I want her lickety split.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think it's interesting because there's also this principle of when you're in the state of lack, right? Or not feeling abundant, then it's good to give things away, to donate, to provide services, so again, it seems a little contradictive to making the money, especially when you're first starting your business. And I just wonder what's your take on that? And that this comes from tithing, right? I believe this concept comes from tithing.
Mhm.
But what is your take on that?
here's the American catch-22. So I do donate. I donate about $60 an hour a month to someone who is less privileged in some way. So, and I give them a free hour that they could not normally afford. And I also keep a receipt of that, and that is a write-off. So there is actual ways to make giving functional from a business point of view. That's the thing. It can be done with an accounting sense. But I also do believe if people are in need and you should at least try. And I won't give away the whole pie, but I will give you a slice. I won't let you starve to death, but I can hold you over until you get your means together to make sure that you're not taking away from my complete pie. Because again, if I go homeless, 100 people lose their healer on tap. I take care of whole families. I have a rotation of 100 people every month that need this service. Spinal cord stimulating implants, all of my new and reconstructed joints, and all of the scar tissue that people just have to maintain. But that's still, it's all done with time. And people confuse us with their grandma or a monk from the 1600s. Well, those times have changed. This is America. This is 2023, and we have bills to pay. But I think it's about being reasonable. I think there is really the catch-22. How much can you give without giving away, without taking away from yourself? And it's about boundaries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you can give in many ways. You don't need to give your professionalism or professional knowledge for free. Like you can always donate. I donate every month stuff. Like in a charity, you can help people in other way. You can buy them gifts. It's not that you have to donate from your business, I would say.
I trade. In the beginning, I will
Yes.
recommend trade. Barter as a magician, equivalent exchange is probably one of our first things.
Yep.
So I traded so much in the beginning. I had full meals traded for massage. I've had tires rotated. I've had my teeth cleaned, all in trade because I couldn't afford it at the time. But I was like, I have this skill. I can help you with your carpal tunnel and your shoulder release if you'll clean my teeth. And that's worked out very well. So I think that in the least case, it should be fair, but I always strive for at least fairness.
Yeah.
Really can't have something take away that is not put back. That therein breaks the rule of balance.
Yes.
And that is the fundamental that we teach and preach.
Yes. I think that is really, really good knowledge. That I think that's really the foundation. That's the key, is that there always should be that energy exchange. It's also not only a healing energy, but it is that creation of balance. It's keeping the balance. So exchange of whatever that is, that energy, service for time, dollars for time, or bartering, but it is, and there is an energy behind it. If it doesn't feel fair, if it doesn't feel right, that's where the communication, that's where you're responsible for upholding your boundaries and your worth. And I think that is the key to having a successful business, because the moment you start to be like less than what you believe you're worth, if you're just trying to fit into a box, then to make something work, to get a sale, then that's where things start to get off balance.
And
Stay kind.
also, I have seen it in life coaching. Once I started that one, that my first clients, I took some of them kind of like even for free or for almost nothing. They were not as committed for the
Absolutely.
process as the people who
Absolutely.
actually paid for it. Even though those people were in the same course. So
That's something my master taught. People pay for what they value, and they value what they pay for. Money
yes.
is a tool, but it is a representative of energy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Even when I had my restaurant and my wine bar, I would offer, Thursday wine tastings for free. Well, it became so like ordinary that people stopped showing up. They didn't even come for free. And it's because there is that human need for uncertainty. So even if I pulled a couple back, I stopped doing a few, I only did them twice a month, and then I charged, but I also gave them some value. So they got their money back if they bought a bottle or, whatever, I had a special. So there has to be some sort of exchange, because when they're getting it for free, you're not really getting an exchange. And it says it's not valued.
Value
It's
versus
free,
worth.
it's zero, there's no value.
Yeah, and so there's no worth. Why spend the time? Why break a day if there's no value in it? We're kind of programmed for that now.
Yeah.
So I think value and worth are related. They're a type of fraternal twin, but they're not the same thing. Like we can all look at a tool and see a different value based on what we think it's worth and how we can utilize it. So I think but here healing is so universal and so centralized that I think health, healing, and the ability to sustain it is very valuable, because that's what people don't have is maintenance or management techniques, because the problem is movement. It requires so much energy to maintain or manage your own mindscape or your mind palace or whatever issue we're working on at the time. It's a lot of energy.
Mhm.
For
sure.
Definitely. Yeah, so this has definitely been an interesting conversation about money and exchange and job energy and stuff. Any last words you would like to bring into the conversation? Christina, you want to start?
I would just like to say that this conversation has been really interesting because people don't really talk about this much. It's more, whenever you see some videos, it's more about the abundance factor. It's more about manifesting abundance and how do you get there. But this is really coming back to the fundamentals of finding your worth and what you are providing. So to give value. So I think that's really, really important. Once you can do that, you should be able to just manifest however much you want to earn. So yeah, it's all energy.
It is. It's
Exactly.
all energy. My advice is save a little bit, save a little bit of time for yourself, save a little bit of energy for yourself, and these things, a lot of times, if we can save it long enough, it'll accumulate. It's in the idea of compounding interest. If you can save it, eventually you'll have enough that you can just use a discretionary one day, but you got to save just a little bit. So I'm all about savings. Save your energy, save your money.
Perfect. And my last words maybe would be that I think this whole subject comes very much into self-worth, like how much you think you are worth as a healer, so, or as a practitioner. And don't underestimate yourself. Don't take that path, because you will end up even sometimes losing clients, because if you underestimate
Mm.
your value and you put your prices really down, people don't appreciate you.
Mm.
So find that fine line where is the good pricing for you, and be proud of your work, because you are really there for helping people, and people really need you also. So maybe that's it, what I wanted to say. And of course, like and subscribe. And this was completely different episode than all the other ones. We were very much in this practical money issue. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and talk to you soon. Bye.
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 Record.